Welcome back to another edition of Move Through Motivation. I hope you really enjoyed the stories of Mel and Neil, the last two episodes. They're dear friends of ours, and we're so encouraged by their story and their love and their interesting perspective on what struggle is to them and how they've gone through it. But today I wanted to talk about a new topic. Today I wanted to talk to you about inspiration and a story of how one teacher had the vision to educate her students and drastically change, in particular, one student's life many years down the road. This teacher, her name was Mrs. Selman. Mrs. Selman in 1997 was an English teacher at a high school, and she had the toughest class. It was a difficult task. You're a senior, but she really was strict on how she educated, how she taught. She held a high standard, which made her class very hard. And Miss Selman, for extra credit, 1 year, decided to challenge the class for extra credit if you applied to local state schools. And I loved extra credit. I loved the fact that we would be able to get some extra points for grades because I was not a really good writer. And I said, yes, I accept. So I was planning on going to a community college, but Mrs. Selman said, I'll give you extra credit. So I applied, not thinking anything of it. A few weeks later, we got accepted. We were accepted. I was accepted into Long Beach State. And then I said, oh no, what now? Mrs. Selman, what do I do? I just did this for extra credit. Well, she encouraged me to go talk to our student counselor, Mr. Euthis. And I did. And I didn't have the money to pay for college. I didn't have the funds necessary to even take on this adventure. I was not a great athlete. I was not. But Mrs. Selman said, just apply, and apply for financial aid. She said, you have good enough grades, you could do it. I said, okay. So I did. And I applied for financial aid. I was accepted. My financial aid went through. And I was going to college. Not in my plans, but from one teacher's assignment for extra credit, she got me into a university. But that wasn't the most inspiring thing to me about Mrs. Selman. She was tough. She was gritty. It doesn't matter if you got a good grade, she would push you to get better and better and better in your writing and communication. And so she said, all of you kids that are doing well, I have this opportunity to go to a motivational speaking event. And I was like, okay. So we went. I'm 99% sure it was a Great Western Forum. It was somewhere in LA. It was a big venue. And I remember two specific speakers speaking at this. It was General Powell and General Schwarzkopf. And they were the keynote speakers at this event. It was epic. There were tens of thousands of people in this arena, and these gentlemen were up on stage inspiring young high school kids. And I didn't know it then, but I think that had something deep ingrained in my body, in my mind, many years later. I love the energy that was in that arena. I love the message that these two gentlemen spoke about. And there were other speakers, but those two spoke out to me the most. And I wish I remember everybody else, but it was 22 years ago, for goodness sake. I can't remember everything. But that time of her just saying, apply for college, go to this event. I was a high school kid. We couldn't afford things. We couldn't do things, but she made it. She was a teacher that was driven to make students the best they could be, and it was hard. And at the time, I was like, this is just so stressful. Why would she do this? I need to do well. 22 years later, Mrs. Selman, we started a motivational company. And that sparked something. That message of her pushing me to be better and giving me the opportunity to go somewhere where I did not have the opportunity to, or it drove me to where I am today. I say all this because teachers have a unique, very special characteristic inside them that maybe their students never see many years later, or maybe come back and don't tell them. But Mrs. Selman's drive got me to college. It sparked an interest in me to listen to motivational speakers, to hear motivational speakers, to be inspired by people's stories. So my point today is, Mrs. Selman, I don't know where you're at in the world. I don't know if you're in California, if you've retired. Your compassion and story lived in me many years later. And it drove me to where I'm at today. So I thank you for pushing a young knucklehead 17-year-old to apply for college. That's how I met my wife. That's how I met the people that are a part of this company. That's how I met the owner of the company that I worked for the last 22 years. I thank you. And to the other teachers out there who may be going through a struggle with that one student, or you see something in that student, keep doing what you're doing. You guys have a talent and a gift that one day, or maybe you never hear it, you guys are special people. So to the teachers out there, especially in this time right now, keep doing what you're doing. Keep educating. Keep lighting the spark in students, whether you're an elementary school teacher or you're a high school or middle school or college professor. I tell you to make sure and keep inspiring those, because one day you may see great things out of those students that you just thought were knucklehead kids back in the day. But you saw something back there in me, Miss Selman, and I'm grateful. Tune in next week for a great story. We love you. We encourage you in this time. Stay motivated. Keep moving. Big things coming in the future from the Move Through Motivation team. Have a great day. God bless.